Alright, so the next little tool we're looking at is inserting edge loops. So if we took something like a cylinder, let's drag something out. Here we go. Alright, so we've got a beautiful cylinder. Maybe we want to turn it into a pillar or a lamp. Let's use the insert edge loop tool in conjunction with the move, scale, and rotate to turn this into something more than it is right now. So starting off, I don't like how many divisions this has, or edge loops. So an edge loop is an edge that goes all the way around the object. It's a way of kind of establishing a relationship between edges. So this one going all the way around, we can see it feeding directly into its adjacent loops. So that would be an edge loop there. I don't like how many this object has, so I'm going to quickly simplify it. So I'm selecting the mesh in the channel box. I'm going to go to the input section and click on polycylinder. And if I decrease this value to maybe 8, I get a shape which is a little bit more manageable. So as a rule of thumb, I like to keep objects really simple and low resolution for as long as I can. And that just means that if I make a mistake or I need to tweak something, I've got a lot less that I need to fix. And then I can let the software smooth things out for me later on and do a lot of the heavy lifting. Alright, so if we go to Mesh Tools and Insert Edge Loop. So in the previous video, I used Multicut to individually draw out vertexes on meshes. We could use this tool now, but I really don't recommend it because it's easy to break a mesh adding vertices and not kind of being aware of modeling theory. So I'd like you to hold off on that for as long as possible, really. So we're going to go Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, and when I click on a vertical edge, it's going to give me a row or an edge loop that goes horizontally. Or similarly, if I click on a horizontal loop, it will give me one that goes vertically. The only time this really breaks is if you're trying to do an edge loop in a direction that ends up terminating in a triangle. If we treat this face here as an example, we've got a north side, south side, west and east. And when we're inserting edge loops, it's trying to follow one face is north, for example. So if I've got an edge loop that's going straight up, it's looking at where it's entering a vertex on the south, and it's trying to follow it out through the north. Or if I'm coming around horizontally, it's coming in through the west and terminating on the east. And it's going to carry on looking for that east all the way around. But with a triangle, it gets to this point and it doesn't know whether you expect it to branch off into the east or the west. There is no north for it. If you follow my line of thought, it's not the clearest explanation maybe, but it doesn't know whether to go left or right. You're giving it options which it doesn't have the ability to make. So far I've clicked and I've inserted an edge loop. So we need to add edges or vertices in order to modify the shape of our object. So in this case, I've right-clicked, edge mode. If I double-click on this edge loop, so an edge loop is a ring of edges that go all the way around, or a loop of edges, yeah. If double-clicking allows me to select the entire ring, and then using the scale tool, I could inflate it out. So it might be that I wanted to make a light bulb looking thing. Vertex, grab up this ring. There we go. So I've got a little weird light bulb, sorry. If I wanted to smooth this out, I can go back to Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, click on this edge again, trying to get it nice and evenly spaced, and then with the scale tool, puff it out a little bit more. I'm pressing Y now to reselect the edge loop tool rather than constantly going back to that menu. And then with the move scale tool, I'm constantly puffing it out. Conversely, so if we've got a weird light bulb thing there, spur of the moment, if I bring out another shape and we want to turn it into a pillar, again, I'm going to get rid of some of those extra divisions. So Mesh Tool, Insert Edge Loop. If I insert an edge loop here and here, so it's going to be a typical kind of I column. I column? I think it's called an I column. We're going to insert, if I try to scale these in now, so that we've got a plinth between two discs, what we end up with is the entire thing tapering in. So if we insert another edge really close to these two, and I scale them in one at a time, I can get a much more dramatic. We're using one edge to maintain the thickness up until this point, before telling it, right, we want to come in here, and then again up the top, we'll bring it in some more. No, maybe it's kind of a narrowing out one, and then mesh tools, insert edge loop. These are not things that you'd find in my bedroom, just so we're clear. It's just late, and I'm just going with whatever comes out. It looks a bit like a shake weight. Don't know if you remember those. Alright, so edge loops. Really useful for quick ways of kind of making changes to the mesh. We just need to be conscious of how it's impacting aspects of the mesh that we're not actively trying to work on.